Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel here today, and we're back for another Walking Dead discussion video here today. And today, we're going to be discussing the top 5 Walking Dead episodes ranging from all seasons 1, 2, 3, Michonne, as well as DLC. So if you guys enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And let's go for 200 likes. If you guys missed, straw poll down below in the description. Also, Batman next Tuesday. Make sure to go vote. And let's get straight into the video. Number 5 is around every corner. If we remember, this is Season 1, Episode 4. And in this episode, our entire premise was to find a boat. And the boat, obviously, was to get out of Savannah, remember. We had the stranger on the radio calling us. And obviously, Lee, with being protective of Clem, didn't want him to mess. Then we also had Molly ringing the bells. We had Chuck, fortunately, dying. We had Clementine and the decision to go to Crawford or not. There was a lot of stuff that happened in this episode there was a lot of good events. I could just recall a couple events. My favorite moments in this episode were probably meeting the Cancer Survivor group, having that close encounter with Vernon, and Lee could talk all that smack to Vernon. Another one would probably be getting into Crawford and finding it over. That was a very fun part of it. Obviously, a lot of glitches and stuff happened there, but still. Another fun moment probably would be the boy scene here. This was actually very deep and emotional. Also, obviously, the saddest moment for me when Lee got bitten, and that was just honestly heartbreaking to me. Seeing Clem cry and then having him get bitten. Honestly, this episode had all of it: ups, downs. It made me cry, made me happy, made me sad. I mean, it's why The Walking Dead is one of my favorite games. It's just moments like this and stuff that happens. And honestly, decisions were not that bad in this. I didn't hate them. Some were decisions like whether to go bring Clementine with you in Crawford. I don't know. That was depending on the player. And honestly, I didn't decide to take her because honestly, the decisions made you think more of Clementine, protecting Clementine, than bring her or not. All right, but that's number 5, guys. If you guys like that number 5 and get your personal list again in chat, make sure to put it down below in the description in the comments. Let's go on to number 4. Number 4 is A House Divided, which was Season 2, Episode 2. And in this episode, we had Carver, the introduction of Carver, the madman we had heard in Episode 1. And honestly, a couple moments that stood on this episode. Obviously, my number 1 moment, probably one of my favorite moments of the season, was Kenny's return, which was one of the most shocking moments I think I'd ever remember playing a video game, because thinking that he died in Season 1. You had the Carver ambush, when they had ambushed the cabin. You had Walter's death, which was very traumatic. You had Matthew on the bridge, as well as the moment of either picking to go with Kenny to try and save everyone and then see Carlos get his butt kicked by Carver, or you could surrender and see Kenny try to take out people with the gun. Those were some of the moments that stood out. Decisions, obviously, they ranged, I believe, from certain things such as obviously sitting with Kenny or Luke at the lunch table, going with Kenny to try and save everybody, or surrendering. Those are some of the ones that stuck out to me. But other than that, there really wasn't that many moments, that could catch my attention, or those couple ones I mentioned. Obviously, we had the introduction of Sarita, some other, okay characters. But the major thing that made this episode a top 4 for me was just Kenny. That whole thing, this is such a powerful moment. You hadn't seen him for such a long dang time. And you think, everyone from Season 1, all those amazing-ass characters, Krista, seeing Krista in Episode 1, all that shit that happened when you thought everyone was dead, and you see Kenny like, holy cow. It was one of the craziest moments I think I can remember playing this game. And it was nice to see him back in the fold. And obviously, again, I think the pace of this episode was fantastic, too. They start off with the introduction, trying to explain with Carver and all that. They bring him up, show him, and then the ambush at the end. It gets really hectic at the end, which is why I love this episode. That is my number 4 spot, guys. We're moving on to number 3 right now. Number 3 is Season 2, Episode 5, No Going Back. And No Going Back is a very interesting episode because of the multiple endings. And it all breaks down to why this is my number 3. The endings were so good. And that's why I really put this over the top. We had, remember, the Alone ending. We had the Jane ending. We had the Kenny ending, going with him away from Wellington. And we had the other one where we stayed with him, where we stayed in Wellington and left Kenny. And also, again, the Jane endings can also be broken down whether going with the family or not going with the family. And obviously, this is preconceived before Season 3. I know Season 3 kind of, destroyed these choices and made them look like absolute garbage because of how Kenny and Jane were treated and exactly, what really would piss me off also was the fact of what happened with the family, and that they only got a mention in Season 3. But that's Season 3. I'm just talking about right now in Season 2. We also had the moment with Arvo and his betrayal, Clementine getting shot, the Lee flashback. Certain things like that drove us nuts. The Arvo Mike situation, that just was honestly a shocker. Clem getting shot, the Lee flashback, sad as heck. Honestly, the Kenny and Jane fight, intense as hell. The decision to shoot Kenny or not, honestly heartbreaking as hell. Potentially even again having another option to shoot Kenny even after you save him in cold blood. Also leaving Jane potentially if you save her. I mean, it was just madness. Purely exciting, heartbreaking, any word that you could describe between sad and mad, you can put in between in this episode. And that's why I have it at number 3. Honestly, it could go higher, and a lot less people probably have it as number 1, but I think these next 2 episodes that I'm going to bring up here, I'm going to give some reasons why I think they're a little over the top on this one. But remember, this game is fantastic, and like I said, the endings in this, Season 2 really didn't really kick off for me until Episode 3. The first couple episodes, they were picking pace. After Episode 2, when Episode 2 got near the ending, that's when I think the season started to really click with me, and I really did like and enjoy this season, definitely very much, compared to, obviously, A New Frontier, which, like I said again, is not bad, but not really was well compared to the other ones. So, that's my reasons. Decisions were not bad. Obviously, the multiple decisions and stuff were good. Characters, fantastic. Betrayals and all that. And obviously, the pace was phenomenal. Alright, guys, that's my number 3. We're moving on to number 2. Number 2 is No Time Left, Season 1, Episode 5. And honestly, the reason why this is number 2 is there's one reason why this episode puts it over the top. It's Lee, and because it gets me emotional still talking about this, because Lee is such a good character, and how he died was so heartbreaking. And that's why I have to put it at this spot, because it was such a well-written episode, and how they paced out, Lee's journey to save Clementine from the stranger, and then that, the final about 10 to 15 minutes of the episode were the most heartbreaking, minutes of my life I could possibly remember playing. That's why, this is why, probably like I said, when I got to this point, after The Walking Dead initially came out, I played it a little after it came out because I heard about it from my Xbox store, and this is where I found out about it. And then I eventually, the moment that really, sparked me, my love, my passion for this game, was probably when this episode hit. Even though it's not my favorite episode, it's the moment, where I realized, like, holy, this episode is, this season, this game, it's on a whole other spectrum of, of awesomeness, and just, overall, love. The love I have for this game is unreal, and that's why I make videos about it, because I love this game. I love the series. I love the characters. I love that the people make this game. I love you commenters as well. And I can't, like I said, you can't. And I always read these comments about Lee and how much people love him, and it connects with me personally. That's why I like reading comments. I connect with them in some way, whether I disagree, agree, or we have some kind of bond together as fellow watchers and players of this game. But honestly, the pace, Krista Omid, Ben, and the potential Kenny situation, his sacrifice, decisions, they weren't bad. Honestly, not really any standoutish ones though. But the shooting Lee or leaving him to turn the arm cut off, those weren't bad. But overall, this episode just had everything. It had the highs, it had the sad lows, and it had the moments that just made me want to just, I cried. I'm a man. I'll fess up. I cried. And if you didn't cry, I don't know what to tell you. You might be partially heartless. I'm not judging, but this episode can make most people cry. And if you didn't cry, you're cold. No joke. You're cold. All right, but that is my number 2 spot, and I think you guys know number 1 is, what it is. You know what it is. All right, let's get us straight to it. Number 1 is Season 1, Episode 2, Starve for Help. And Starve for Help is my favorite episode for a couple of reasons. The first reason we have to be is the revelation of the St. John's, and what we ended up finding out is that they were cannibals. And honestly, I did not see this coming at all. Obviously, there were signs, some craziness, they seemed a little weird, but I didn't expect this, honestly. You know, this turn of event, honestly, from thinking, you know, the bandits were the enemy, but when you ended up looking at it, the main enemy were the people we were staying with, the St. John's, cannibals, killing humans, cutting them off, eating them. The Clementine woman trying to stop her from eating the food. Larry and his Larry scene. Oh my goodness, having to bash his brains in potentially or not. Lily and losing it, depending on that. Kenny, if you side with Lily, Kenny just completely hating your ass. No offense. As well as Danny. Danny, and the fights with them. And then we also had the revelation, Andy fighting Andy in the frickin' field. That was one of my favorite scenes as well. Just the entire episode. This was the most climatic, intense, insane, crazy. I mean, we can go all the words in, but this episode was freaking amazing. It was freaking amazing, just top to bottom. And I think a lot of you people will agree with me. This is as your favorite episode, because honestly, when I look around the board, I see a lot of, you know, I've checked some other people's, you know, polls and stuff, and I've kind of seen this tends to be the consensus for their favorite episode, just because of all that goes down in it. Certain scenes, again, like the pullout with the gun. I mean, everything was just crazy in this episode, and that's why I have to put it on the top. I mean, you guys, obviously, down below in the comments, leave me what you think is the best. And obviously, this is in honor of the Walking Dead collection coming out next month, and I cannot wait to stream you guys that. That's basically me. Before season 4 comes out, we're gonna go through all the seasons again, just rehash ourselves with memories. Obviously, I hope the Walking Dead does not get delayed because of the news of obviously the 25% of Telltale employees have been cut recently, so there's a good chance. Obviously, it makes the seasons better potentially, but also it could mean the Walking Dead season 4 gets delayed. Even though, despite them not saying it is going to affect season 4, it could get delayed. So I don't know if I'll make a prediction video release day again, but I don't think I'll need to because I've already made like 3 of them. But let's not just let's leave that be for now. Obviously, Batman's Tuesday, guys, so please go vote if you'd like to see me do Batman. Whether I live stream it or make a video out of it, I'd appreciate it. And guys, thank you so much for your support, guys, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Thank you all again for your support, and I'll holler at you later. Peace.